Welcome
Yeah.
to Role Play Cafe. We're here again to continue on with the Alien RPG. This is John as our DM. Todd's not able to be here tonight, but myself, Dell, and Dune are. So we'll pick up where we left off. Take it away, John.
All right. All right. So last time, our team arrived at Dillon Colony and made contact with some of the locals. They are kind of living as kind of a more primitive lifestyle than they anticipated. Some of them have like devolved into cannibalism and are living inside of the jungle. Um, the team was escorted through the jungle during the day when these feral people are less prone to attack because of the extreme heat. It goes up to forget what it was, like 48 degrees Celsius or something like that, which is like 120 degrees or somewhere well above where most humans live. And
Yeah.
the team kept their vac suits on. Dr. Bircher remained back at um, the the small village that where they first encountered them, and so we're going to kind of be bouncing back and between both of those places. The travel with Yoko and Kip took most of the day, and they encountered the village, the camp elders that are basically responsible for that, and discovered that there is two uh, refugees that uh, are from another colony somewhere that were that a rock crashed here, not far from Dillon Colony. We saw that on the Dillon Colony map. It was a crashed ship stuck in a giant mud pile, or a mud, not a mud pile, but like a pool of mud, and is partially submerged. And the colonists here don't know what to do with them. So they're hoping that the team can help them. And the last thing we discovered was that uh, they are or were associated with the Wayland Corporation. The three elders, whom appear to be referred to as executives, have faded Wayland jumpsuits. Not Wayland Utani, but Wayland. And that's where we left off. So since about 6 or 7 hours has passed covering Yoko and Kip's travel, why don't we find out what Dr. Bircher was up to
Yeah.
back at the camp? I'm sorry, at the village. He has had most of the day there. The young man that he treated for his injury is he's fairly stable. Dr. Bircher's confident that he's going to recover, but it was a pretty grievous wound and was getting infected. So it's probably going to take a little bit of time for him to be back up on his feet.
Okay.
So,
At the
you know, this,
moment, I'm uh, looking over the wound, and I've also got, I believe he had a female uh, relative. Okay.
yes, it's his mother, actually.
His mother. I've been keeping her close at hand and almost in effect training her in basic care, wound care, um,
Okay.
to make sure that she can. Because I see my time is shortening. I've from time to time stepped out of the tent and contacted Kip and Yoko, more so Yoko, just to keep in contact. I did let them know that if possible me and the pilot would fly in if they needed us at any point in time. So I'm kind of aware, and I've been aware. The boy seems stabilized, and at this point in time, I step out. I've stepped out of the tent. I'm talking to Yoko uh, about these individuals. Or I'm trying to raise them about to find more about these individuals that are Wayland. Um, would you say
Yeah,
businessmen or
clearly, Dr. Bircher. We that's part of our mission. We'll find out everything we can about everyone here on Dylan.
yes? Do they seem? You said that they crashed here. They're from off world, from another colony. Is that what
I believe the
is that what we're
executives
assuming?
have I'm not sure what for would be in their custody some refugees from off world, but as far as
Oh,
everything, well, I will we will no doubt investigate.
do you
Um,
need me there post haste to handle any
uh,
medical issues with refugees?
if the boy is stable, then whenever you can make the trek, I imagine you're probably better. You're probably well off to join us here. There's a huge settlement, and I'm not sure exactly what
Well,
what.
without a guide, and from what you told me that you had to deal with on the way there, I don't know if I'd be up for that. So I perhaps need to fast track it to your location.
I'm
If you
sure
can send
there's
me a beacon
we
or
can send back our
your
guide.
coordinates.
John, can you remind me what our guide's name was, or who our?
Kyle was the name of the young man that escorted you here.
Yeah,
Is
Dr.
that what you're
Bircher.
asking?
Dr. Bircher, I'll ask Kyle if he can make if he's up for making the trek back and forth round trip one more time. And I'll
That's
ask, and I'll turn to Kyle. I don't know if is he with us or is he gone, like long gone?
Yeah. So why don't we say he's kind of giving you a brief tour of the area as you're expected to meet up with the elders again um, at the meeting house.
Mm-hmm.
But they're giving, he's giving you a brief tour of each of the individual plateaus. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can talk to him while this is going on.
It sounds like Kyle. It sounds like our other friend, our other companion, is finished with treating the boy in your village. What was the boy's name, Doctor Berger?
but Yoko.
Yeah.
By the time he makes his trek here and back, it took him 6 7 hours to get there. I'm not going to unduly risk my own safety
I'll be honest, Doctor
uh,
Berger. The
because
reason it took us so
he's.
long is because of Windows. The
But
guide will
the
have no problem making the trek in very little time.
granted, knowing Windows, I know that is probably a most truthful statement. But uh, if you can relay your coordinates, and we can get a signature off your gear, off your tech, I can relay it to the pilot, and I can
Ah,
perhaps uh, we can take these refugees with us.
I agree completely. It's very likely we can take the refugees back to the mother colony, just as we did with the Gorham
Is
colonists.
is there no place to land?
I don't
Where
know.
yet for?
I haven't. We haven't
And
finished. I haven't seen everything they have here yet.
Per, well, perhaps you can find a location for us to land, or if not, we can probably hold steady and repel down.
Sounds like a good plan. Stand by. I will call you back when I know. Well, after I ask the executives or whoever seems to be the most knowledgeable. where is a
Okay,
good
yeah, cool.
spot or if there is one.
That sounds good. I think I hear the mother calling me. I'll see what she needs. Bert, you're out.
All right. So I apologize. I got a name wrong. Kyle was the guy that was injured. Evan is the name of the guide who guided you to camp. Sorry for mixing those two names up.
No problem.
The
I have my notes.
Okay, so Evan is going to continue the tour. Are you in more of a hurry to meet these and the executives in order to establish the possibility of the dropship landing somewhere on these plateaus, or
I
do
feel
you
like
want
I'd
to
ask Kyle
continue?
first. I mean, I would just ask Kyle first. Like, hey, so yeah, our other friend is finished at your home at your village and is prepared to come here. Um, I am. I just what we have a ship, so we could fly, but I don't know if there's a good place to land here, or if it would be better to have another alternative method. I know we made our trek. It was not easy and it was not pleasant, and we ran into trouble as well. And I would yeah like I point at my bloody hands or whatever, or I hold them up.
Yeah, so Evan says, uh, well, due to the time to get there and back, it's going to be at least 2 days before we could return with your compatriots. We don't, we've never tested out uh, any areas for landing, as we haven't had access to an operational uh, ship in quite some time. Uh, I think it's probably best that we talk to the executives and get permission before we attempt anything. My suspicion is if you do want to take the refugees with you, then uh, the, there's the best place is probably between the refugee camp and the Judgment Bluff, which I was going to show you shortly if you still are interested in seeing it.
Oh, excellent. I think that we should ask the elders as soon as possible.
I will
Uh,
send someone to determine if they are ready to meet you and your friend here again.
okay.
And I don't want to disturb them if they're still within still having their discussions in preparation for determining what it is that you can do for us. And he turns to a what looks like a young boy, but is dressed in this the essentially the same gear that he has. He must be some new guard or something. And he tells them to run uh, and ask when the executives will be ready to meet with our new guests. And the boy runs off in a hurry. I'm going to say that he was showing you through this area here,
Okay, great.
and the boy runs off towards the meeting house in an effort to get that information for you. So Evan wants to continue and show you the refugee camp and the Judgment Bluff if you are still willing to
Of
go.
course, yes. Let's go. Let's go right over there. How many refugees were there again?
Uh, there were quite a few of them uh, originally. I believe that there was over a dozen, but only a few survived. I'm not sure the exact number because, as you probably realize, I'm not based at this camp, but
Right,
at the
right.
village outside.
Well, you seem pretty well informed for not living here, anyways. It is very important to us to speak with the refugees as well as executives, especially if the refugees came from off-world or a different colony. As you know, as we've told you, we're trying to collect information about the colonies for our mission. We explained our mission to them, I believe.
Oh, yes, about the
Yeah,
Great Mother
the mother
Mystery.
colony, basically,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
collect resources and colonists and find out what everything can do and unite them if we can.
And
So
he's
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
so we
was
want
just
to meet
gonna
the
say,
refugees. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Yeah, he escorts you down to the refugee camp. There seems to be, I mean, there is a heavy fence that separates this area from the this main living area. Just to give you an idea, uh, this area that's labeled Nabo, which where we're at, this
Oh.
seems to be um, kind of a higher end living space.
Hmm.
Uh, and you suspect that maybe the leaders most likely live here,
Mm-hmm.
not only the executives, but maybe the heads of various groups.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the worker shanty area was really run down.
Mm-hmm.
It was, cobbled together. Some of these buildings were falling over. It was not well maintained, and they seemed to be living in very dense and densely populated. And that was the group that was congregating at the fence. You haven't been over to the enclave yet, so you're not entirely sure what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But there seems to be a very large building prominent over in that plateau.
Mm-hmm.
The refugee camp is even worse than the worker shanty. It is basically very makeshift tents to protect them from the elements. But there is, there does not seem to be any other facilities of any sort, any place to wash or eat or relieve themselves or anything like that. So they seem to be in pretty bad shape. When Evan starts, explaining to you, why they're fenced off and everything, and you see a few heads pop out from some of these tents, and they're watching curiously as Evan is talking to you and Kip. And
Are we inside the fence or outside the fence right now?
outside, just outside the fence.
Got it. And is it guarded? Like, is there an armed guard?
No, there's no armed guards here. They are. Um, there is a gate, but it is locked on this side,
Okay.
and it looks. It would be pretty difficult to scale this fence,
Mm-hmm.
and based off the way these people are living, they probably wouldn't bother attempting.
Mm-hmm.
But the Evan is explaining that this fence is both for their protection and from ours, because there's a number of people in the camp that are not happy with their presence and want them gone. They think that they're causing danger. Uh, Far over that way, and he points further south, is the Judgment Bluff, and that is where executions of those who we deem dangerous to our existence here are thrown over.
I imagine that's
And
what will
just,
become of our friend. Uh,
yes, most likely. In fact, he may have already been disposed of. And just as you are saying, just as Evan is saying that, one of the people whose heads you saw pop out of one of the tents emerges and starts walking towards you. And he seems uh, quite elated to see the two of you there in your vac suits. And he, as he gets, as he gets closer, he seems a little bit wary over Evan, but he definitely seems like he wants to speak to you.
I'll beckon this person over. Like, come join us. Like, it's the three. Is the three of us? Is the three of us? Windows, me, and Evan.
And yes,
Okay. Yeah. So I'll beckon them over. And when they get close, I'll speak first and say, um, greetings, our local guide here, Evan. Well, sorry, greetings. We are from Offworld, and our local guide here, Evan, has told us that you also come from Offworld. Do they
I
understand
do.
what I'm saying?
I do. I'm so grateful to see someone else. You have an operational ship?
Yes, we do.
Oh, would you be willing to take us from here? We have no escape, and the only protection we have is from the these colonists, and you can see what sort of squalor we're living in.
Are you being held against your will?
Not as such, but the only other option is facing those creatures that live out in the jungle. It's either here or death, and obviously we chose here.
Um, I think you will be pleased to hear that it is part of our mission to uh, help protect the colonists out, the Spinward colonists, and find out as much as we can. We are establishing a new colony, one at which everyone is welcome and resources are shared. I'm treating the mother colony mission like a communist UPP mission, but whatever.
Yeah.
It may or may not be the case. But that's how I sell it, and I say, so we're happy to see you too. Please, where did you come? If not Dylan.
We come from another colony established by the Children of the Two Divines. It is only a few systems from here. It is not an original colony.
Oh.
But I grew weary of the life that we led there, and their leader there's something wrong with her.
Interesting. So there are more colonies out here than the originals. We have all of those on our charts, but if you have other information about colonies out here, that would be very useful. I
I
yeah.
I would be happy to trade you all that I know of both the systems in the area and whatever you need to know about the Children of the Two Divine. If you can provide me with protection from Mother Michaela, I will. I will share all you know or all I know willingly, and help you find out anything I don't know.
Mother Michaela is the leader who has something wrong with her. Or is this something
She, yes, she is. Uh, she is cruel, and
unusual?
that that is an apt description. There is something unnatural about her, and I don't know what it is. They say
Uh,
she's an angel, but I don't. I it it doesn't seem possible.
well, I'll be honest. I'm not going to offer you my personal protection. I'm not much of a fighter, um, although I will fight if need be. Um, the the mother colony has many good people, and I'm sure that it will provide a safe place for you to stay. But I do question how far is mother would Mother Michaela be willing to go to find you? It sounds like you're still afraid of her here on Dylan, middle of absolutely nowhere, in the middle of a jungle in the middle of nowhere, and in the on a planet in the middle of nowhere.
She she will search far and wide for us, and honestly, I'm surprised she hasn't arrived yet.
Hmm.
And with that, we will cut to Dr. Bircher at the village. He's going about teaching, um, teaching that the mother of
Mother of
Kyle
Kyle.
and
Yeah.
a few other people, some basic medicine. When he hears a loud commotion outside, people screaming, not screaming, but a gasp, uh, and loud talking and that sort of thing.
Okay, I finish up the bandage real quick. Get a little wide eyed when I see that, and looking over my shoulder, distracted. Finish up the bandage, and what what is that disturbance? And I get up and look outside the tent flap. Um,
And you see a group of the local villagers pointing up into the sky and asking, "Someone else has come. It's Could it
all
be
right,
more people here to help us?" And you follow their, where they're pointing up into the sky and see another ship identical to the one that crashed into the mud, which is a vessel, like a drop ship type thing from a Hyades class ship, which you know to be a large, uh, can both be a cargo and military uh, vehicle
oh yeah,
that
yeah.
is.
I'm immediately toggling and Dudge, wake up, come in, Dudge, for the
Uh,
pilot.
yes, yep, yeah. What is it? And
All
you can
right,
see he's probably sleeping
yeah, no, that's what I
from.
figured. Yeah, get up. We got some visitors. Looks like the
And
same ship, and
he
I'm squinting into there. Same ship that we did that flyby over. There's one right
uh
above us. You get the
yeah,
scans on.
let me fire it up, and you hear him, like, pounding on some on the console, and I'm tracking it. It's a Hyades class dropship. Uh, it is seems to be. He needs a moment, and then he starts tracking it. It seems to be landing not far from the the crashed ship we flew over, and yeah, he pinged over here that seems to be landing there.
Can you hail them?
Uh,
Oh.
yes, let me try. And you hear him say,
I'm
"A
coming that
lady's
way.
vessel. Please identify yourself." And he waits a moment, and he repeats it again. He says, "They're not responding. I don't know. Maybe their
I'm
comms are
I'm
damaged."
I've started hoofing it over there to the ship to go up the gangplank and get on board.
Oh, you're trying to go back on,
Okay.
or get back on that Sylvester Island? Or sorry, the shuttle.
Well, the drop
shuttle.
Oh
ship.
yeah, the drop ship. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
you know,
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, that's a
I have a question real quick. Just I want to know. I'm
sure.
curious. When you do that hail, does that tell what does that tell the other ship about us? Do they know that it's coming from a dropship, or do they just hear it's from a radio signal from the ground?
There's transponder information, so I mean, they would know that it's another dropship. Just
yeah.
because Dudge read the transponder on their ship, so that's
Oh,
how he
that's how
knew
he knows
exactly
that's
what
the
it was.
information. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Okay. Um,
Yeah. So it only takes you a few minutes to get
yeah, I'm running up the
get out.
gangplank and going
Okay.
inside right now.
Uh, all
And then
right. What do you
I'm
want?
toggling Yoko and filling him in about what's going on. Yoko, we've got another Halley's ship, just like the one we did a flyby over. It seems to be triangulating uh, toward its sister ship. This we tried to hail it. I know. Don't say anything, but it's not responding.
Yoko looks at the refugees or the refugee and says, "If you excuse me a moment, I need to contact my ship, our ship, and then I'll step away because I don't want to be with anyone, or I'll be with Windows. It's fine." And I will
Okay.
communicate with Dr. Bircher and say, "Dr. Bircher, it seems like they have some refugees here from Offworld, as we already established. They seem to be very afraid that Mother Michaela from their home world will be out here looking for them.
It seems like
I would guess my first guess for this incoming ship is that it's from that they are looking for these refugees here. I have not told them that there's a ship here looking for them, but and I don't know if I will tell them, but I believe that is probably what we're dealing with.
so. They're criminals. Is that what you're saying?
Well, all I know right now is that Mother Michaela is after them. I don't know exactly why or if they
Now,
are culpable or if I have no idea. But to go across,
okay.
to go between
I'll
worlds like
have
this is a big step to try to find a few. I guess I don't know how many there were, but I'll say a few random
yeah,
evacuees,
refugees,
yeah.
escapees, however they want to be told. But the question is, this ship is the same ship that attacked us before. We were in the Solovetsky Island back at the original
No,
colony.
no, it is not. You're talking about like the fighter type ship that
Yeah.
is you couldn't identify. This is a known ship. You know the exact model
Okay.
of
That's what I
ship
was
this
thinking.
drop
I
ship
just
came
wanted to
from.
make sure
Yeah,
because it would pattern my discussions about this, right?
understood. Yeah.
So, yeah, uh, we'll contact Solovetsky and see if there's any other ship in orbit
There must be
alongside.
if this is a dropship, right?
Dudge, get on that.
I have one more question for Dutch.
All right.
Dutch, what was my question? Shit. Hey Dutch, is that ship that's here now? I guess if it's the same model as the crash ship, then it's an old. I guess I'll use this term. I'll start using this term maybe. An old world ship, like it comes from. It's an old design, or is it?
Yeah, it's fairly old. It was probably it, back when the original colonies were established. This is probably top of the line. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, that
there's
makes
there's
sense.
some still there's some still in service, but they would have had to undergone a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, it's more of a classic
Yeah,
collector's
classic.
item.
That's one way to call it, or one thing to call it.
Okay, well, our mission remains the same. We need to collect as much information as we can about all the colonies. So if we can find out information from them, I don't see why we shouldn't try to. Are you comfortable trying to make contact with them?
With
Please
the
don't.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
whatever happens, don't reveal that the refugees are where we are here.
oh,
That's
we've
not
already
for
tried to
us to
hail them,
reveal.
Yoko. They're not
That's
responding.
fine. Just don't tell them
This
that
doesn't
that
bode
the
well.
just don't tell them that. Oh, they didn't respond. Hmm.
No, no, they've and we've shown our hands since they can read the transponder.
No
Uh,
problem.
we're going to be monitoring their location. If they come back over, we may. What do you recommend? Should we
No
take to the
problem.
air?
We have nothing to hide here, um, except the location of this camp, obviously, which is not our information to share. The Dylan secrets ought to remain the Dylan secrets, and I'm grateful that they've been willing to be so open with us. And I haven't had a chance to talk to the
Well,
executives yet.
well, I suggest you do that now and find out if these refugees
I'll find
have
out what they
any
want to do
hidden
with
information.
what they'll have with the refugees, and it's based on everything I've seen, and these people don't seem malicious, and I feel like they would probably allow us to take the refugees off world back to the mother colony, where I look around
Well,
at the like
certainly if they don't
squalid
want to
conditions
contend with
of the like tents and stuff they have set up here. I'm like, they'll definitely be happier in the mother colony than here.
no, I'm sure they would, but we don't need to be harboring criminals if indeed that's what they are, and if that other colony is searching after them.
I'll try to see
But
what I can find
again,
out.
not responding. We should. We'll try to hail them again. You find out what you can find out,
Sounds like a good plan. Monitor their activity, and if you can make contact with them, however you can, please try to do that, and
and I won't let
convey
them
to them
know
our mission.
anything without your leave. I'll relay
Sounds like a
that
good
what I find.
plan. I'll get in touch with the elders.
All right, sounds good. Bert, you're out.
Why does he always say that?
Um,
I say to Windows.
All right. So, are you and Dudge going to head over there, or what are you going to do, Berger?
Yeah, that's when I lean over and look at Dudge, and I pause for a second, and I say, "Take us up." They're not responding, but they'll see us. Then they'll probably have no
Uh,
other recourse to respond. We can't just sit here uh, without knowing what their intent is.
all right. Uh, do you want me to land, or do you just want to fly over and see what they're up to?
Let's see what they're up to. Keep your distance. I assume you know what you're doing and kind of look over the panels, whatever.
All right. So Dudge brings the ship up high, and you can see all of the villagers at the bottom, like watching in amazement as your ship takes off, and throws the thrusters are throwing down so much air. It looks like there's a storm down there from all the wind, and you take off across the jungle, about maybe close to 1,000 feet up to get a high level view, and you can see there are people have emerged from this ship. It has landed right there, and they have seemed to are unloading some sort of cargo, and bringing it up to the edge of the plateau. Judge says, watching this, it's possible that they're going to rappel down into the crashed ship and uh, begin searching for something. That's the only thing I can think of. It
So
looks like,
they're offloading this equipment to the plateau and going to the ship itself.
yeah. So the ship is at the bottom of the plateau in that pool of mud that has
Yeah.
accumulated down there. So
Sludge.
it's about over 100 feet. You haven't actually been up to this plateau yet, but yeah, Judge estimates it's over 100 feet depth.
Okay. We I look at Dudge and let's let's make ourselves known. Try to raise them on the try to hail them again.
Judge, fires up the communicator and repeats the same hail. He says, "Ladies vessel, please identify yourselves." And he waits again and repeats 2 more times, and there's still no response. You can see that, they are not trying to hide themselves, but the only thing that Dudge can think of is that there's something wrong with their communicator. And I mean, they're not trying to hide, is essentially what I'm trying to say.
So they're just walking around. They can see us. Like I said, make yourself known.
Uh,
So they look up and
yeah,
see us.
I mean, you're so high up at this point that you can't tell if they're looking up at you, but if they did, they would be able to see you.
Gotcha. But they seem to be
You
just
want-
carrying on as per normal, like we wasn't there, right?
Yes, yeah. You want me to get lower and
Yeah,
see if we can get their
yeah.
attention?
Let's make ourselves known. See if they give us a friendly wave.
All right, so he brings the dropship down closer and begins like circling around. And at this point, you can see that someone is waving at you and seems to be signaling to land over here.
Okay.
A safe distance from their ship so that there's no conflict. There's no chance of anybody getting injured.
Okay. I'll look at Dudge and then I get on the comms. Dudge, let the Solovetsky know what's going on, and I'll raise Yoko and let Yoko know, that we've found their location and they're beckoning us to land. It looks like they're trying to board their crashed vessel.
Thank you for the update, Dr. Bircher. I expect that it's good to. I suspect that their communications are down, and it's good to hear that they are at least communicating with you somehow. If they gestured for you to, go to a particular location, just make sure, Dr. Bircher, that you don't reveal anything about where we are. You feel free to talk about the injured. Your, just try to distract them with talking about your medical treatment. That would be a good place to expand if they seem to be looking for more information.
I'll see if they need an assist, medically or otherwise.
Very good idea.
I'll keep your location off the table.
Thank you very much.
Conversation
And also, feel free to be very open about our mission as the Mother Colony, because that is, any information we can get about the other colonies would be great.
Yes, information gathering. That sounds good. I'll keep you informed. Bircher out.
Again.
All right. So Dudge is going to land where directed, I assume.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Dudge brings the dropship down and lands in the approximate area that he was directed to. As you are, as he's settling down and switching things off and lowering the plank, you can see that there is a woman flanked by three men that are coming from the equipment that they were unloading from here and heading towards your dropship. Dudge says, "You want me to come out
Yeah.
with you? Uh, I don't want you to be. We're already outnumbered, but I don't want you to be out there alone."
Okay. If I can't see any kind of weaponry or whatever,
Yeah, you can. I mean, there's several pulse rifles that are still mounted to the side of the dropship that you could bring with you if you
okay.
want to.
They could take us out if they wanted to, Dutch. You just stay here and if things get dicey,
All
just
right,
text
so
me.
you're not going to bring anything yourself. You're just going to go out there
No, no, I'll go
alone.
out fully. I'll bring my medical case. And
Okay.
we're here on a humanitarian mission.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. All right. You can. So as you get closer, and or I'm sorry, these three people get closer, and you're leaving the dropship. You can see that the woman that is walking with them is kind of skinny. She has very long limbs, and she walks with what you would describe as extreme elegance. It's almost like she's gliding across the ground. The three men with her are all wearing vac suits, but they are very old vac suits. Like you would be surprised that they're still functional.
Mm.
They look like they're probably from the time of the original colonies. She, however, is not
Okay.
wearing a vac suit, uh, which you find surprising. She must have either taken it off or uh, yeah, I mean, she
Now,
probably
as they
wouldn't have
draw
come down
closer,
here
she's
without it.
human. She's human, right? Or at least humanoid.
Uh, Give me an observation roll,
Okay.
and
Um,
one success will answer that question.
gotcha.
More successes are going to point out some specific odd features. Do you
Oof.
want to push?
You are an observant cat.
All
Did
right.
Yeah.
you click the push button?
So yeah, did you click push? What did you do, or did you
Oh, I
click?
just clicked
Did you roll
observation
twice?
again. Yeah.
Okay, so you pushed. You wanted
No,
to push.
click
Yeah.
push, click push, because the
Okay,
second roll is too many dice.
yeah, yeah. Hit push uh, under the
Okay.
second roll or the
Under the
first
first
roll
roll.
where it says you got two. Yeah, where you got two successes. Because that's going to add your stress die, which is going to give you an extra one. Okay, so you got three successes. Your first suspicion is that she is synthetic.
Ooh.
That
Okay.
and she is not attempting to hide it.
Okay.
She that would explain why she doesn't need
Yep.
to wear a vac suit.
Gotcha.
However, she does not match like her general physical structure does not match any synth model that you're aware of. Particularly the length of her torso, I mean, not her torso, but her limbs, is making her taller than the three men that she's walking besides,
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
which is very unusual because
Mm-hmm.
synths are meant to blend in. So they would, a female design synth would certainly not be larger than like taller than the men, let alone a male one, because
Oh yeah, this is
he's
obviously
about
maybe a
seven.
divergent
Exactly. Yeah. So
colony
that's
because
your
it's been kind of isolated. Basically, is
so
what I'm
your
taking in.
yeah. So your second suspicion is that some like her body has been modified essentially, because she doesn't match any model that you're aware of, and no one would design a model like this because that's not what synths are for.
At
Um,
least no one in the
so
old world would have designed
right,
synth this way.
yes. So uh, she's obviously been modified in some way, but the most peculiar modification, and this is you're going to be your third uh, success, is that the back of her head is elongated, maybe about 25% more than a human skull would be.
So
Whoa.
she's a cone head.
Well,
No,
it's
okay,
like
yeah, I get it.
cone heads that stick straight up. This is the back of, like the ball from the base of your skull up to the top. This is like protruding backwards
Oh.
almost
Oh,
in
I
like a
get it.
diagonal direction.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, I can already
So
picture
she
it.
doesn't look like Michael Fassbender.
No.
No, I know what you're driving at, but also okay, but from what I'm seeing here, yeah, I'm not going to meta anything, obviously, but
Mhm.
uh, I will walk down the gangplank, holding my arms, holding my hand up, and the the bag out, or the box out with the medical
Mhm.
emblem on it. And do you need aid? I'm saying as I'm walking forward.
She tilts her head slightly to consider the question and says, "No, we do not need any assistance here of the medical sense, but uh, I am just quite unexpected to see uh, someone such as yourself here, and I'm actually taken aback a bit by how advanced your vac suit appears. May I ask what colony you're from?"
We're from now. I do have to ask, what is the colony? I can't recall it.
Uh, so the
We just call it
colony.
the mother colony, but still.
Well, you call it the mother colony, but that's not going to make any sense to them.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's what I was
yeah,
trying
so
to
I
think.
mean, you'd have to give some background as to what it is exactly.
But it's. I'll pause for a second because I know that they've obviously been stagnant here. It's a new colony in. I'll give the quadrant of the
Yeah,
area
yeah, the system.
that
Yeah.
New
that is
Spinward
being
colony.
yeah, the new Spinward colony that is being established, and in hopes to also establish connections with the colonies that are already here. But we found desolation here, and we wish to provide aid to any who need that. What colony do you come from?
Uh, we don't come from a colony as such, but we are a conglomerate of survivors from various colonies. We've established ourselves on a new planet that I'm not quite comfortable sharing with you at this time. So you are new arrivals to the Spinward, and how long have you been here?
Here on this location only recently, as of
I meant the colony that you've recently established. How recent is it?
very recent. Now I'll give her the rundown about how long has it been in general.
It's been about maybe a little more than a year at this point
Year,
because
or I
you
was going
went
to say
on a
a year
couple.
or two. Yeah,
Yeah.
no more than a year or so. Um, but we were trying to establish trade and um, communications with the colonies already present. Yet it seems that this, and I'll kind of gesture toward the ruined colony over there. This colony seems to have power, but is ruined. I could, if this
Yes.
is a widespread epidemic, perhaps, and it's affected those of these colonies, I can see where the survivors may cobble together and form, as you state, um,
Uh, One bit of
a,
information,
a
Dell,
new
that I think,
colony.
Dell, I think one thing that we established last session, I don't know if it was last
Yeah.
session, but the they told us that the reason that the Dylan colony is abandoned basically and in uninhabitable inside is because of some kind of or what was it? Some kind of gas?
Yeah, the Vespine gas.
Say
Uh,
that word again?
Vespine.
Vespine.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Vespene.
Yeah, so then Windows knew and I kind of had an idea that, like high powered electronic stuff like the atmospheric processor, for example, might be able to generate Vespine gas that, you know. So there's some kind of source of Vespine gas that's
well,
the reason that the colony itself, like all the innards of the
I'll
colony.
add that as a tagline. But I was wanting to pick her brain about what we had encountered before,
Sounds great.
because
Like you're yeah, yeah, go for
I'm
it.
worried. I'm interested about the potential, uh, you know, disease or infection coming back to the mother colony. So
Perfect.
she's got me curious about why people would be in mass. This diaspora of people would go to this new planet, right? All right, and then I'll just add, or perhaps some state that the gas, the Vespine gas, drove them out of the colony here.
Yes, I'm not personally particularly interested in what happened to these lower beings, but I'm here specifically because we had uh, some of our members on the run, and we are trying to recover them. Their ship has crashed down here. Would you happen to have seen them during your investigations here?
No, I have not seen any. I have just, I've frankly been up all night or all day tending to uh, tending to one who had an injury on his leg. We are uh, essentially a humanitarian effort, giving aid to those that need them. The value that you seem to place uh, is on these people is, and I'm a little bit shaken by her is, and then I'll stop there.
Well, I'm.
Where,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just gonna say what of you you seek some of your own in the crash
Yes,
ship
they.
there, and I'll point toward that.
I'm. I'm hoping we can find them alive, at best, and at worst, their corpses amongst the crashed ship. Uh, if they're not there, then I was going to try to investigate with the locals here, and perhaps with your
Well, you
mingling amongst them and your assistance that you provided, you may be able to assist me in conversing with them and determining whether or not they have any of my survivors amongst them.
your survivors, are they like you? You place value on them as such.
Love it.
She considers it for a second, and you realize that she understands what you're implying, and you are
I
quite
would say I
observant.
would yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was going to say you're quite an observant man. They are not like me. I am alone in being a synthetic amongst these men, but they do look to me for guidance, and I have led them for many, many decades. I
Are
hope
these
that is not a problem for you.
are these men as such that are as the men here on this planet are? And yet you
You're
call them
saying, are they the same species? Of course they are. We have not met any other intelligent life other than humanity. And
so
she
you
turns to one of the men standing next to her and gestures for him to take off his helmet.
yeah.
And he does, and he's taken aback a little bit by the heat and humidity
He's
that
sweating.
flushes in. But you can see, I mean, he has like a perfectly shaved head that's beginning to perspire almost immediately.
Yeah.
He does not have any deformities or anything like she does, like with
Okay,
the
I'm looking
elongated
for any
head
kind of
or anything.
drugged situation or
Oh, I like
addleness of his
that.
mind or
Hmm.
trance-like things.
You can
So,
do some like
uh,
diagnosis. He has pink eye.
yeah, I
I'm going
mean,
to say there is no obvious. Uh, he does not seem to obviously be being influenced in any way, either through like you know some sort of mind. Not I don't want to say mind control, but there's no drugs or anything. You don't see any telltale signs, but in order to
okay,
be completely confident, you would need to be able to like draw his blood and test it and that sort of thing.
okay. I'll look at him and if he looks like anyway, I look at him and then my eyes go back to her and um you reference those here as inferior beings, yet you value the humans with you. What sets these apart from the others?
Juicy.
Intelligence and drive.
Could I perhaps evaluate on your leave one of your men and do a comparative evaluation on the results that I've had with one of the men here
You
to
can
see if I could probably make any improvements.
you can
To
see her eyes, but she begins to roll her eyes as you're saying this. You can go ahead and finish if you haven't.
no, no. I mean, she begins to roll her eyes. I value your judgments on these things. I only wish to determine if there's a difference to the men that you place value in. Perhaps I could learn more. Perhaps they're
Perhaps
a
we
hardier
can.
stock.
I'm willing to make an arrangement. I will lend you one of my men if you agree to help me uh, interface with the locals here, since you've already established contact with them, and help me in tracking down my survivors if their corpses are not amongst the crash site.
Perhaps what I learned could be uh, something that could be used to determine which ones are the men that you value as opposed to the men that you do not value in the same respect. There might be an identifier. Yes, yes. and I start mumbling about could be the the white blood cell count. What would make them part of your stock? That kind of thing. And yes, yes. Um, if I could take but a blood sample, I could do a
Yeah.
comparison.
Yes. As soon as we're finished searching the ship, and she turns to the three men with her and tells them to begin, begin their search of the ship. Uh, and they run back off towards the site where the cargo is being unloaded at the top of the cliff above the crash site.
Yeah.
And you can see they begin to start like unpacking what appears to be some sort of like crane like device, like maybe it's some sort of elevator or something that they can use to go down the side of the cliff and reach the crash site in groups. You count, there's
Okay.
probably about 8 of them. You see working by the crash site. You don't know if there's any more inside of the ship itself.
Okay. Um, I will hold my hand up and yes, yes. If you don't mind, we'll stay here. I can wait until y'all have completed your business.
Do,
Uh,
do as you will. I will be interested in hearing more about these locals once we're complete. And she steps away and
and before when she starts to turn,
mhm.
I'll raise. And may I? What shall I call you?
You may refer to me as Mother Michaela. I'm the leader here amongst these men, and we all are children of the two divine.
I kind of look at her, and just blank when she says that. Okay, noted. Yes, Michaela. I'm Doctor Butcher, and I'll retreat into the drop ship.
All right.
Um,
So, go ahead. Sorry.
no, no, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna just get on the horn with Yoko uh,
Okay. Go ahead.
and call him up.
Dr.
Yoko,
Mercer, were you able to
just
establish contact?
I sure did face to face, 1-to-1. It's a Mother Michaela. She seems to be a synthetic.
That's the one.
Um,
She's definitely after these refugees here.
she seems to value, uh, and from the assumption she calls herself mother, she seems to value her children as opposed to just uh, any stock of man, and that is what she's looking to reclaim. They are looking through the ship now, but she wants me to, and she inquired of me whether or not I had seen uh, any uh, any of her children. I'll say um, I did not tell her such, but I did request that I get a sample to help determine which of the which of the people here would be her children if we did find
And
them.
how did she take that suggestion?
She agreed upon that with my aid. Uh, it's always as beneficial toward her end. Um, I'm sitting in idle here with Dudge
I'm
until
sorry,
she
Dr.
releases
Mercer.
one of
What aid is she requesting you provide?
just that aid that I would give her information as to any location we find amongst the inhabitants here of her people.
I
Now,
yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the best course of action is here. I'll try to find out more information from the refugees I am able to communicate with, but right now I can't see that we have a good sense of whether or not it would be better if Mother Michaela was able to find these people or not.
I looked at, she had one, whenever I uh, test or interview one of the men she sends me, I'll be able to glean a little bit more information. Her,
I feel like your
you can,
mission now is best to be one that like of that will just delay Mother Michaela's
yes,
efforts.
that's exactly what I wanted to do. Misinform and misguide uh, to provide a little bit more time and possibly an avenue for escape. And I'll proceed to give you a little rundown of schematics. As Dudge, I tell him to kind of look over the ship, get the gun count, whatever, get in contact with Solovetsky, see which ship is in orbit and the information on that ship to see exactly what we're dealing with. But you talk to the talk to the leaders there and see where they can discern from these refugees and talk with the refugees too. Where did they come from? She said a planet of several colonies. She wouldn't divulge that information, but she seems to be their benefactors and their mother.
I
So
see. It does seem
she
good practice to hide, to not reveal openly the location of their home world. No need to invite unnecessary risk or attention. So I
well,
am sympathetic to
if
that.
it's a possible threat, we need to know where it is. And this,
Absolutely.
if I can get a one-on-one with them, and you can interview uh, the refugees, maybe you
That
can
sounds
get
like
that
a good
information
plan.
too.
Yeah, I think number one priority is to just delay them as much as possible, and number two would be to collect as much information as you can. I think the elders are about ready to meet us. Maybe.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, as long as she's
Uh,
following my lead, I'll lead her elsewhere. I'll just, collaborate with you on that end. I'll steer away
all
from
right.
the camp.
All right. So let's cut back to the camp and we can have the meeting, maybe the first of many, between uh, Yoko and Kip with the three executives.
Did
So,
Yoko get a? So this isn't important in terms of like the specifics, but did Yoko get a tour of the farm?
yes, yeah, we'll say we did the farm.
Okay,
Let me jump us back over there.
yeah, no problem. I was just planning on saying I'm impressed with your farm, but I don't want to say that if the farm was garbage.
Wait,
To
I'm
the
sorry. What
elders.
was the second thing? Last thing you said?
Yeah, I was planning on having Yoko tell the executives that Yoko is impressed with the farm, but
Oh, okay.
if it's in like horrible disrepair, then that doesn't make sense, right?
No, it's actually in fairly good shape. They have quite a few. They seem to have some uh, remnants of livestock and that sort of thing.
Awesome.
There it is. Uh, they don't look. I mean, they are like things that the humans brought with them. So it's like actual cows and pigs and
Ooh.
chickens. It's not
Oh,
the
okay. So it's not
local
the local stuff.
fauna that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly.
That the leather would be
Uh,
made out
so
of.
that they must have brought this over from the actual Dylan colony.
Awesome. Yoko's way better with animals than people, even though Yoko keeps taking point on talking to people. just to
So I mean, you can tell that these animals are very underfed.
Yeah.
There's several that you can identify have some sort of disease
Oh
that's
yeah.
probably spreading amongst them. But for the conditions that they're in fairly good shape.
Okay, so awesome. Thank you for describing the farm for me.
Sure.
I imagine what's going on. Where are we? Is it me and Windows and Evan still?
Yeah. So he's escorting you to the meeting house. And there you see the three people that you spoke with before. There are several guards standing around. There's a small group of people that are wearing various colored jumpsuits, um, kind of off to the side as though they're just going to observe the discussions. Uh, and the meeting house is essentially, it looks like it is a conference room table that is over a makeshift uh, roof. It only has it doesn't it only has one wall, but it has a roof extending over it to probably protect in case it rains or something. But it looks like they're trying to simulate kind of the executive boardroom that would probably exist in the administrative area of the colony.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's all out.
And
Like
on
I mean, mostly outdoor with a roof.
yes, and you see the three of them are sitting around three different sides of the table, and they gesture for the two of you to sit down at the fourth side, and Evan, pulls the chairs back for you, and once the
Mm-hmm.
two of you sit, he steps out and joins the other guards outside, who you assume are there to protect the executives from the commoners that are there to watch.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll be that
They
hard to manage, but I think that was Hamada with us? There's another NPC somewhere.
Yes, that's right. I believe it's Emily that you brought with you.
Oh,
Did Hamada come
Yeah.
down?
No, Hamida didn't, but I think it was Emily.
okay.
Remember, I
Yes.
was against it, but she had the necessary skills to. Anyway, yeah,
Okay, so all three of us are here, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. We sit down. No questions asked. We let them speak first.
All right. So Vidon, who is the older gentleman, he says, "We appreciate you meeting with us, and we understand that Evan has given you a full tour of our camp and has even provided you an opportunity to meet with one of the refugees."
Yes, I'm very impressed with your farm, and the refugees were able to speak with us. It seems like they would prefer to leave this place if they could. See what they say.
You can see Vidon is uh, seems somewhat concerned over this, but the face of the two women that are there, kind of, you can see a smirk appear on the Asian woman, and uh, the dark skinned woman is somewhat elated at hearing you say this. I Vidon speaks up and says, "I'm not sure that it is best that we let these people go before they have an opportunity to help us better understand what it is like off planet. And I feel like they came to us for protection, and we should give it to them. And The dark-skinned woman slams her hand on the ground and says, "No, these people are dangerous. They're causing discontent amongst them. Get rid of them. Let these off-worlders take them, and we can get back to living our lives." And the Asian woman is completely silent and seems to be watching everything unfold. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, we're very willing to take the refugees. Another very pertinent piece of information. I'm not sure if you have any scouts or ability to see, but we believe that that someone from the colony, the refugees colony that they escaped from, is searching for them, and we have reason to believe that they're here near the Dylan colony and on planet already. I want to see what they say.
That is. I'm sorry. Were you going to say something?
No, I just wanted to see what they. I want to hear the response, your reaction to that.
You can see a look of concern come over all three of their faces. Vidon says, "This is quite disconcerting that so many off-worlders are coming here at once. We don't know who to trust. You've obviously proved yourselves, but..." The Asian woman speaks up and says, "I have yet to introduce myself. My name is Yen Yamada, and I think we should take this opportunity to get as much resources out of all of these off-worlders as possible. I, for one, would be willing to turn these refugees over, get them off our hands to whoever is willing to provide us the most, whether that be you or these others that have even more recently arrived.
I'm surprised.
Are you willing to negotiate with us?"
Sorry. I'm surprised by this, and I look to the other two just to see what their reaction is. Do they seem to defer to the Asian woman, or do they are they also surprised that she's suggesting this?
They don't seem surprised, but they're not deferring to her. You can see the dark-skinned woman is obviously wants to say something, but it's kind of biting her tongue.
So I'll challenge them. I'll challenge her, Yen Yamada, on this. So you're planning to sell the refugees to the highest bidder? Is that the case? Is that what's happening here? And I'm a little bit sterner here than I usually am, or like harsher.
In so many words, yes, they are a resource that we find in very limited amounts. And if they are the difference between living like this versus reclaiming our colony, then I think we should exploit it.
So that's how you do business here, and I'm actually looking directly at the black woman and the man, not at the Asian woman when I say
that. You see Vidon is visibly frustrated with both of these, and he says, "We've come to disagree quite a bit on when it comes down to this. The three of us have managed to share responsibilities here and come to agreements until this dilemma has presented itself. I think everyone deserves respect here. regardless of whether they're from off-world or the remnants of Dylan Colony. I am not opposed to improving our lives, but I do not want to throw innocent people to the wolves. And the dark-skinned woman says, they would throw us to the wolves. They abandoned us. They pillaged from us. Why can't we gain something from the arrival of these people? Who knows who's coming next? And if we are in a position where we've wasted our resources on these strangers, that we may not be able to fend off the next round of piracy.
Rest assured, our position with respect to the Dylan Colony and your camp here is the same and will always remain the same. We are on a mission to unite the Spinward colonies and to forge a new path forward with all of humanity to ensure our safety and prosperity. I have no doubt that we would be able to, if we work together, especially our mother colony and Dylan, we would be able to reclaim this colony and fix whatever is making the city uninhabitable. We want nothing more than that, as our mission is to make the most out of the resources that we have out here in the Spinward colonies. We're not close to the core, and we hope only to unite and work together and share resources. Nothing that would be so detrimental. So when we offer to take the refugees, it's for the better of everyone. And if Dylan is interested in working with the mother colony, we can definitely reestablish Dylan as a prosperous mining colony. I want nothing more than that if you are willing. And I'll look at the three of them pointedly.
All right. So you are going to, I'm going to need you to give me a manipulation roll.
Good. I'm good at being the face. Let's see.
I'm going to say one success is going to get the black woman, whose name is Zuma. It's going to get her. He's going to be willing to let you take them, and with the promise of coming back and providing and uniting their colony back into the fold as you promised. Two successes is going to get Vidon to agree to release them. He doesn't seem particularly concerned with reuniting, but the fact that you can provide resources is going to be sufficient. It's going to take 3 successes to get anything out of Yen, and you're not entirely sure, what her deal is and what it is that she's looking for. But I will provide you more information
after the roll.
Based off, after the roll.
Okay, so I'm rolling manipulation. I need 1 for. Let's see.
Oh boy.
Okay, close.
Wait, did you roll and push at the same time?
No, I just rolled, and if you
you just rolled and you got stressed.
Panic, then it just doesn't let you push. Didn't give me the push option because I got a stress.
Right. I understand. I just thought I heard 2 die rolls. That's all.
Oh.
So you're going to start trembling, probably. I'm going to say that the pressure is really you have all of these eyes and these
Mm-hmm.
leaders looking at you that you just don't know how to respond to these, to all of these demands and
Mm-hmm.
different ideas as to how to manipulate everything. And they realize that you are not going to respond uh, with anything that's going to convince them. And they say, perhaps we should meet with this other person and see what they are willing to provide. We'll have to consider it. Please um, make yourselves comfortable here, and we will invite you back when we are ready to discuss things further.
Before we split, have a very important question. We have
Okay.
one of our crewmates, or sorry, two of our crewmates in our shuttle that we use to get to the planet to the planet from our ship in orbit are are still at the village where we came from with Evan, and they may need to join us over here. What do you suggest if they bring a ship in this direction? Do you have a suitable place for landing the ship up here, or do you have a location to suggest that they land that's very close and not that wouldn't require a trek such as we made yesterday or today um, across through the
Mhm.
jungle?
There is a path up onto the unoccupied plateau to the south. We could briefly travel through the jungle and access that. That would be the safest place, and I feel the most comfortable. I do not want to cause a riot if by having a ship land inside the camp itself. And that was Bidan speaking, and he turns to Yen and Zuma and says, "Would the two of you agree with this?" And they nod, and Yen says, I agree, although I would be interested in seeing the ship. It's been so long since we've had an opportunity to see an operational ship. Perhaps we can get some ideas for salvaging some inside of the colony itself.
Of course, you're welcome to see our ship when we bring it in this direction. I will tell my people, and then I'll thank you very much for your time. And while I'm concerned and not particularly fond of the way that you're choosing to handle these refugees, I am pleased that you are allowing us the chance to and being open with us and our information. We have been nothing but open with you, so it's. I have a feeling that Dylan is on its way to on its way back.
All right. And they nod and gesture for you to be escorted out. So let's cut back to um,
Sure.
the plateau and what
Oh,
Bircher is seeing.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Bircher is basically watching them construct this sort of elevator type thing that they've installed a platform on, and the six of the 8 men have gone down to the ship, and you see them rummaging around and or stepping inside, and they begin bringing things out and putting them onto the platform. Uh, Several trips are necessary, but one of them that went down onto the ship, you can see him speaking with Mother Michaela, and you see her become uh, somewhat
Incensed?
not incensed, but um, a bit hurried, I would say. She starts, you can see her screaming at people to unload things, and she goes down on the following trip down onto the ship. Are you going to just continue to watch from where you are?
Um, yeah, I'm going to turn my attention back to Dudge and have you raised the Solovetsky Island? I need to know what's up there. So I want to know if anything's in orbit up there.
Yes, I just heard back, and Tan said that there is a Hyades class ship in orbit. Unfortunately, it appears to be armed. They have not done anything aggressive as of yet.
They haven't tried to raise you on comms.
Mm, Not that he's mentioned.
Let us know if they make any move. Otherwise, and stay a safe distance away from them, please.
All right, I will let him know.
All right, Bircher out.
Dr. Bircher,
All right.
I tell Dr. Bircher the contents of our meeting with the with the executives, and that there
Okay.
is a suitable landing spot. It's not particularly like super in the middle, but it's actually probably better if we don't land in their colony.
All right. So after getting all of the,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just gonna say we certainly don't want to do it when they're watching.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'll follow you here, so that's super dangerous.
Okay.
I have a universe question, and this is probably jumping the gun. I mean, I'll ask you offline. I'll ask you in a.
Okay. All right. So Dr. Bircher is getting all of these updates, and while he's waiting to find out what Michaela went down for, maybe a half hour to 45 minutes later, you see the platform rising again. And you are taken aback by what you see on the platform. It seems to be a large egg shaped cocoon, approximately 3 feet tall, and encased in a glass box to keep it secure. You have never seen anything like it before, but Michaela seems very protective of it, and is watching and directing the men as they remove it from the platform and load it into their dropship. And that is where we're going to stop.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
Maybe they'll just leave. Maybe they're happy. Maybe they got how they wanted.
Maybe.
Disconcerting. Okay. Yeah. I have to be looking at synthetics and whatnot, models of synthetics, just to make sure that. Anyway, yeah. Good game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jeez, was
All
hailing
right.
from two different areas. That was kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it actually gave us, it kind of spiced things up a little bit because it gave us different points of view and different things going on. So
Yeah, I kind of felt like trying to hold, because that's what I was trying to do was just take her, be a diversion and relay information to him. And I was still feeling the pressure about the Solovetsky Island, and what they had facing them up there. So how are we supposed to get out of this situation? Uh,
Wait and
we'll
see.
see. Yeah, especially if the people here who she considers like invaluable. No, I mean not invaluable, but just like lesser beings,
Yeah.
and therefore probably fodder,
Hmm.
and they're willing to make a deal with her and talk to her. You know,
I
so
haven't thought about what we would do if a colony said they don't want to be cooperative with the mother colony.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe you'll find one.
Yeah,
Oh, geez. Yeah, that was good. That was good. So,
cool. Thanks, John.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, John.